There's something deeply beautiful about a strong body, not because of its size or definition or the number of weights it can lift, but because of what it means: resilience, independence, energy. And yet, as the years pass, many of us quietly begin to lose that strength. Not because we're lazy, not because we're careless, but because no one ever told us this, that muscles don't just disappear with age, they fade when they're forgotten. But what if you could bring them back? What if, even after 60, 70, or 90, your body could rebuild what you thought was lost? This isn't a fantasy. It's not a supplement ad. And it's not a miracle cure. It's something far more powerful and far more real. Food. Real food. The kind that nourishes the body, not just fills it. The kind that speaks directly to your muscles and says, "It's time to grow again." Today, we're diving deep into a subject most people overlook until it's too late: sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss. It affects nearly 1 in 3 older adults. But here's the truth the headlines rarely tell you. It can be slowed, reversed, and even defeated, starting with what's on your plate. Yes, movement matters. Yes, strength training helps. But without the right nutrients, without the raw materials, your body is like a construction site with no bricks. And that's where food comes in. So, let's take a journey. Not just into science, but into hope. Not into fear, but into understanding. And most of all, into the quiet revolution happening in kitchens all over the world, where simple meals are giving older adults something priceless: their strength back. Because when we eat with intention, everything changes. Muscles respond. Energy returns. Posture lifts. Steps feel lighter. And what once felt like decline begins to feel like renewal. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 7 essential foods that help rebuild and protect your muscles, no matter your age. Foods that are scientifically proven, beautifully simple, and, best of all, delicious. But before we meet them, let's start where every story of muscle begins, with protein. And not just the kind you see in powders or gym ads, but the kind that's been on our plates for generations. Because the body doesn't care about trends. It cares about truth. And the truth is, muscle is made from protein. Without enough of it, muscles shrink. With the right kind, they grow. Lean meats, wild fish, organic eggs, cottage cheese. Each of these is more than just a source, they're signals to your body. They say, it's time to repair. It's time to build. And here's something extraordinary. Studies show that even people in their 80s and 90s can gain muscle mass by increasing their protein intake, especially when combined with light resistance movements. One study from the University of Arkansas found that elderly participants who consumed adequate protein and did basic strength exercises gained visible muscle mass in just 10 weeks. Imagine that. Not just slowing decline, but reversing it. But here's the key: it's not just about eating more. It's about eating smart. Because the type of protein matters. Balance matters. Timing matters. And combining protein with other key nutrients makes all the difference. So yes, a grilled piece of salmon isn't just dinner, it's an invitation for your body to become stronger. A boiled egg isn't just breakfast, it's a step toward independence. A small cup of cottage cheese before bed? It's feeding your muscles while you sleep. Now that we've rediscovered the power of protein, let's talk about something most people never connect to muscle strength, yet it's silently working behind the scenes in every single contraction, every single step, and every moment of recovery: calcium. But not just for bones. You see, calcium doesn't just build strong bones, it's also essential for muscle function. Every time your muscle fibers contract and relax, calcium is the spark that makes it happen. Without enough of it, muscles become weak, slow, and unresponsive. That's why dairy products, long praised for their role in bone health, are also some of your best allies in protecting your muscles. But here's the twist: not all dairy is created equal. We're talking about whole, real, fermented dairy, like Greek yogurt, kefir, and aged cheeses. These aren't just high in protein and calcium, they're also packed with probiotics that support your gut, which in turn supports your ability to absorb the nutrients your muscles need most. Because what good is eating right if your body can't absorb it? Your gut, often called your second brain, is like the control center of nutrient processing. And as we age, that system can get sluggish. That's where fermented dairy shines. it doesn't just feed your muscles, it prepares your body to receive the benefits. Imagine starting your day with a creamy bowl of full-fat Greek yogurt, sprinkled with flax seeds and fresh berries. Not only are you feeding your muscles with protein and calcium, but you're also creating the perfect environment for long-term nutrient absorption. It's a meal that keeps on giving. But dairy isn't the only way to nurture your strength. Let's turn now to a group of humble yet powerful foods that are often overlooked, yet are quietly helping older adults all over the world maintain their independence: legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas. These aren't just pantry fillers, they're plant-based protein powerhouses. Packed with fiber, iron, and complex carbohydrates, they provide the slow-burning fuel your body needs to move, heal, and stay strong. And here's the magic: legumes are one of the most affordable, accessible sources of nutrition on the planet. You don't need a fancy supplement. You don't need to chase exotic ingredients. Sometimes, all it takes is a warm bowl of lentil soup to give your muscles what they're asking for. In fact, researchers from Tufts University found that older adults who regularly consumed legumes had greater overall muscle mass and better mobility scores than those who didn't. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't complicated. But it worked, because nature works. And when you combine legumes with a source of vitamin C, like squeezing a bit of lemon on your lentils or adding red peppers to your chickpea salad, you boost the absorption of iron, another crucial nutrient for energy and muscle oxygenation. See how it all connects. Muscle isn't built in the gym alone. It's built in the kitchen. And not through extremes, but through consistent, nourishing habits that build you up from the inside out. And maybe you've noticed this shift already, that the older you get, the more you crave simple food, clean food, real food. That's not a coincidence. That's your body asking to return to balance. Because when your meals start serving your muscles, your whole life begins to shift. Your balance improves. Your confidence grows. Your fatigue fades. You begin to trust your body again, and that, perhaps, is the most powerful form of freedom there is. But we're still missing a few keys. Next, we'll unlock the role of healthy fats, minerals, and the often forgotten heroes of muscle health. The ones hiding in small handfuls, in crunchy textures, in ancient seeds. Because the secret to strength isn't always in the big things. Sometimes, it's in the smallest bites. Picture this: a small handful of almonds. Or a few spoonfuls of pumpkin seeds. Maybe even a crackling bite of a walnut, just before a walk in the sun. Simple, right? But in that tiny moment, you're giving your muscles exactly what they've been waiting for. Because while protein builds the structure and calcium sparks the contraction, healthy fats and micronutrients are the unsung heroes keeping it all working, quietly, consistently, beautifully. Let's talk about nuts and seeds. They may be small, but they carry a nutritional load that punches well above their weight. Rich in magnesium, vitamin E, omega-3 fatty acids, and zinc, they don't just support muscle function. They actively fight off inflammation, support hormone balance, and protect cells from the oxidative stress of aging. And here's something magical. Magnesium plays a key role in muscle relaxation. While calcium helps muscles contract, magnesium helps them release. Without enough of it, you might find yourself cramping at night, feeling stiff in the morning, or recovering slower than usual. A handful of pumpkin seeds? That's a magnesium boost. A spoonful of chia or flax seeds in your morning yogurt. That's omega-3s supporting your joints and reducing the silent inflammation that wears your muscles down over time. You're not just snacking, you're fueling a system. And when paired with protein-rich meals, these seeds and nuts don't just add crunch, they complete the picture. They turn a good meal into a muscle-building symphony. But it gets better. Because one of the biggest myths in nutrition is that carbs are the enemy, especially as we get older. But the truth: your muscles run on energy. And when that energy comes from whole, unprocessed sources, it becomes one of the most important allies in the fight against sarcopenia. Let's bring in whole grains. Oats, quinoa, buckwheat, barley. These ancient grains aren't just filling, they're full of B vitamins, iron, fiber, and slow-releasing carbohydrates that keep your muscles energized throughout the day. Think of them as the quiet engine. They may not shout like protein does, but they're fueling the fire. When your body has stable energy, it moves more. It exercises longer. It repairs faster. And it doesn't need to break down your muscles for fuel, because you've already given it what it needs. And don't worry, this doesn't mean bowls of pasta or loaves of bread. It means intentional carbs, like a warm bowl of oatmeal in the morning with berries and walnuts, or a scoop of quinoa tossed with roasted vegetables and olive oil. Food that's comforting, nourishing, and utterly life-giving. And speaking of life-giving, let's not forget about color. Because some of the most powerful tools for protecting your muscles are hiding in plain sight, right in your produce drawer. Yes, we're talking about vegetables and fruits, but not just any kind. We're looking for the ones bursting with antioxidants. Think spinach, kale, sweet potatoes, blueberries, beets, berries and greens so rich in pigment, they almost glow. That color, it's not just pretty. It's a sign of anti-inflammatory power. Inflammation is a slow thief. It wears down muscle, weakens recovery, and accelerates fatigue. But when you flood your body with these natural antioxidants, you quiet that fire. You give your muscles the space they need to heal, grow, and move freely. And don't overlook one of the simplest ways to make that happen: a smoothie. Just a mix of spinach, frozen berries, a little flax, and plant-based milk. It's not just refreshing. It's your muscles drinking joy. You're starting to see it now, aren't you? The pathway to strength isn't lined with extreme rules, powders, or pills. It's built with real food, used wisely, consistently, and with love. Because every meal you eat is either feeding your decline or fueling your comeback. And that comeback, it's in motion. Close your eyes, just for a moment. Now imagine the inside of a single muscle cell. Not the part you flex in a mirror, but the deep, hidden architecture within. Threads of protein sliding like silk. Tiny powerhouses sparking energy. Waves of minerals flowing in and out with perfect timing. And all of it happening in water. Because before protein can build, before calcium can fire, before magnesium can calm, water must be there, carrying, connecting, activating. We don't think about it. We drink when we're thirsty, maybe. But by the time thirst arrives, we're already behind. Even mild dehydration, just 1 or 2%, can slow down muscle function, reduce strength, delay recovery, and with age, that thirst signal, it fades. Quietly, subtly, dangerously. But here's the hope. A single glass of water can start to change everything. When you hydrate, gently, consistently, you're not just quenching thirst. You're delivering nutrients. You're flushing toxins. You're lubricating joints. You're making sure every cell, especially muscle, can do its job. Think of your blood as a river. Protein, calcium, magnesium, they're the boats. Water, it's the current. Without it, nothing moves. Nothing reaches its destination. But bring the current back, and suddenly, everything flows again. And hydration isn't just plain water. Nature, as always, gives us options. Add cucumber slices. You'll get a whisper of silica for your joints. A few mint leaves. Now you've added antioxidants. Squeeze of lemon. That's vitamin C and polyphenol, brightening your cells from the inside. Now, let's talk electrolytes. These tiny minerals, sodium, potassium, magnesium, they keep your nerves firing, your muscles moving, your heartbeat steady. And where do you find them? In real food. A handful of almonds, a baked sweet potato, a bowl of lentil soup with a pinch of sea salt. These are not just meals. They're mineral maps, guiding hydration exactly where it needs to go. And then, the secret spice cabinet. Turmeric, ginger, cinnamon. They don't just flavor your food. They enhance your healing. Turmeric brings curcumin, a powerful anti-inflammatory. Ginger supports circulation and soothes soreness. Cinnamon improves blood sugar control, giving your muscles clean fuel. And science backs this up. In one study, athletes taking ginger daily reported 25% less soreness. In another, curcumin helped older adults recover faster. Less pain, more movement, more freedom. But these aren't just numbers. They're moments. Moments like walking upstairs without holding the railing. lifting your grandchild, dancing because you can. And it all starts with something as small as sipping slowly. Try this gentle routine. Start your morning with a glass of room-temperature water. Add lemon and a spoon of chia seeds. They'll swell, hydrate you slowly, sustain you deeper. Midday, green tea with a slice of ginger. Warm, soothing, healing. Evening, a small cup of broth with turmeric, black pepper, a little sea salt, liquid gold for your muscles. And just before bed, a glass of water on the nightstand. Not for thirst, but as a promise that, while you sleep, your muscles will be cared for. You might notice a change, not just in strength, but in lightness, confidence, clarity. You're not just drinking water. You're giving your body its voice back. And when someone asks how you're doing it, how you've got the energy, the glow, the calm, just smile, lift your glass, and say, I remembered to drink. But we're not done yet, because food is fuel, water is delivery, but movement is the spark. Everything we've talked about, every bite of protein, every sip of water, every seed, leaf, nut, and grain, they all prepare the stage. But now, the curtain rises, because the true magic of muscle isn't in what you eat. It's in what you do after. Movement, gentle, purposeful, repeated, not punishment, not performance, just motion. Life in motion. Here's the truth. Muscles don't grow just because you feed them. They grow because you ask them to show up. Even if it's slow. Even if it's small. Especially if it's consistent. And that's the beauty of aging well. You don't have to run marathons. You don't need weights or gyms or sweat-drenched circuits. You just need deliberate movement. Walk every morning before the world wakes. Stretch your arms like you're reaching for sunlight. Squat gently to pick something off the floor and feel your legs say, yes, I remember this. Each step, a signal. Each movement, a message. Stay alive. Stay strong. Even 5 minutes a day, repeated with kindness, triggers what scientists call muscle protein synthesis. And that, in plain English, means this. Your muscles are rebuilding. You eat the right food. They grow. You move your body. They respond. It's a conversation between effort and nourishment. And it never stops unless you stop speaking. Now, let's pair that movement with your meals. Did you know that walking for just 15 minutes after lunch can dramatically improve how your body uses the food you just ate? Instead of sugar spiking and crashing, it enters your muscles where it belongs. It becomes fuel, not fat. Energy, not exhaustion. And if you add light resistance, it's asking for attention. So give it 5 minutes, then 10, then 15. Pair it with that protein-rich breakfast. Pair it with that hydration routine. Pair it with your new morning light. Because together, these habits don't just add years to your life. They add life to your years. And when you move with purpose, your meals have somewhere to go. Your strength has somewhere to rise. Your energy has somewhere to live. And you feel alive again. In the final part of this journey, we'll tie it all together. The food, the rhythm, the science, the soul. And we'll end with what matters most. Not just how to live long, but how to live well. You've seen how real food becomes the foundation. How protein repairs. How legumes sustain. How seeds whisper strength into your cells. How grains provide steady fuel. How vegetables bring color and protection. How water carries it all to where it needs to go. And how movement, humble, human movement, turns nourishment into strength. But now, we ask the deeper question. What does it all mean? Because this journey isn't just about food. It's not just about muscle. It's not even about aging. It's about coming home to your body. Learning, maybe for the first time, how much it wants to heal. How much it wants to rise with you, not hold you back. How much it remembers, even if you've forgotten. And the truth is, it's never too late. You can begin today. With one boiled egg. With 1 cup of warm broth. With a handful of almonds, a bowl of oats, a slow walk to the end of your street. One new movement. One new habit. And then build, one step at a time. Let your meals become medicine. Let your rhythm become ritual. Let your strength return. Not in loud, sudden ways, but in quiet, steady victories. One bite. One breath. One beautiful day at a time. Because the goal is not to live forever. The goal is to live fully, today. And now, you know how. Your story isn't over. It's just beginning. And it begins with something as simple and as powerful as what's on your plate. Welcome home. Like pushing against a wall. Lifting grocery bags. Balancing on one foot while brushing your teeth. You're not just maintaining muscle. You're activating longevity. One study in Japan showed that elderly adults who did just a few bodyweight exercises daily, nothing extreme, had significantly lower rates of falls, fractures, and fatigue. They weren't bodybuilders. They were gardeners, grandparents, readers, dreamers. But they moved, just enough. And that made all the difference. Because movement is more than medicine. It's memory. Your muscles remember who you are when you use them. That's why dancing feels like joy. Why walking feels like peace. Why stretching feels like forgiveness. Your body isn't asking for perfection.